So in this screencast, we're going to look at some starter projects for the microbit, and we're also going to look at how do we download our code onto the actual microbit. So the first project that we're going to look at is an Emojis project. So we'll be creating a new project, and when the button A is pressed, we'll show a happy face. When the button B is pressed, we'll show a sad face, and when the A and B button are pressed together, we'll show an expressionless face. So now we're in makecode.com again, and we want to create a new project. Now what I can do before I create that new project, I didn't show you how to save in the last screencast, so I'm just going to call this basic, and I'm just going to save it. And then we're just going to go to projects and new project. Now we'll have a look at what happens when we save it in a little while. So when we start our new project again, you always have the on start and the forever. I'm just going to get rid of those because I'm not going to use them in this particular case. So remember, in this project, we want to have, when the A button is pressed, we want to show, and I'm just going to use the show icons. So we want to show a happy face. I can right click on this and duplicate it because I'm going to do quite similar things for the B button. So again, remember, it's grayed out, and the reason it's grayed out is because you can only have one on button A pressed at a time. I'm just going to click button B, and now it's not grayed out anymore. And this time I'm going to just have a sad face, and then I'm going to right click again and duplicate, and I'm going to pull it down, and I'm going to have when A and B button are pressed. Now this time I'm not going to show that icon, I'm actually going to show LEDs because I want to do my own one. So I'm going to have the two eyes, and then I'll just have a straight line across, just so that they're different. So again, I'm going to do my testing. So I click the A button, we've got a happy face. The B button, we've got a sad face. And the A and B button together, and we've got an expressionless kind of a face. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to save that, and I'm going to save it as Emojis. So when I do that, and again, just be very careful when you're naming, make sure you name it something that when you come back to it, it'll make sense. So I'm going to click save, and when I do that, you can see it's been downloaded here. So I'm just going to go to my downloads folder, and we'll have a look at what's in there. So we're here in the downloads folder, and remember, I saved my basic, and I also saved the emojis. So what happens when you save them is they will be downloaded to your downloads folder. So you've got microbit-basic.hex, and the hex file is what's going to run on the actual microbit. And then we've got microbit-emojis.hex. So they're always going to be prefaced with microbit- and then whatever name you give them. Once we have it here, then we can actually drop it across onto the microbit. Now I don't have any microbit attached at the moment. I will do that, and then we'll have a look at how we can actually transfer it across. So to get your code onto the actual microbit itself, you need to download it to the downloads folder. We're just after seeing that. Then you need to connect a microbit via USB. You copy the hex file across onto the microbit drive. And just one thing to be aware of with the microbit, there is only ever one project on the microbit at any given point in time. So when you're dropping it across, you're overwriting whatever is there. So now we're back in File Explorer again, and I'm going to connect a microbit. And once I do that, you'll see it showing up here. Now that it's showing up, I can just click on microbit emojis, drop it on top of microbit drive, and now you can see that it's copying across. Once it's copied across, I can then disconnect the microbit, and then I can just connect my battery pack to it. And when I do that, I press the A button and it shows me a happy face. I press the B button and it shows me a sad face, and I press the A and B buttons together and it shows me the expressionless face. So that's our first starter project for the microbit. We'll now have a look at the next starter project, and we'll go in and code that in makecode.com. So in the second project that we're doing, we're going to do alternating emojis. So again, we're going to go back and create a new project. When the A button is pressed, we're going to show a sad face. Then we're going to do a little pause, and we're going to show a happy face. And when the B button is pressed, we're going to show the happy face, do a pause, and show the sad face. So we're back in makecode.com. I'm going to create a new project. And I'm going to get rid of the start and the forever again. I'm going to go to input and I'm going to say when the A button is pressed, I want to show the sad face first, and then I'm going to go and put in a little pause. So if I just pull across pause 100, and this is just so that I can see it happening, because otherwise it'll happen too quickly. And then I'm going to go back to input, or sorry, basic, and I'm going to show an icon again, drop it in here, and then I am going to show, apologies, that should be the happy face. So now when I click the A button, it shows a sad face and then the happy face. I'll just do it one more time again. Sad face, pause, happy face. I'm going to right click on this and I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to bring it across here and I'm going to say when the B button is pressed, instead of the sad face to start off, I'm going to have the happy face, and then it pauses and I'm going to show the sad face. So when I press the B button, I have got this happy face first, then the sad face, whereas when I'm going to just restart it just to show the difference. The A button, sad, then happy. I'll just restart it again. And then on the B button, it's happy, then sad. The reason I'm restarting it in between is if I just do the A button, so remember A is sad and then happy, and then the B is happy and then sad. I don't see, it's kind of hard to see that actually with the A it finished on happy and the B started on happy, so it doesn't look like anything's happening, but it actually is. So that's our second project, which is called, we're just going to title it Alternating Emojis here. And again, if I save it, and we're just going to go through the download onto the microbit again. So we're going to go back to our File Explorer. So now you can see we've got microbit alternating emojis here. And I'm going to connect my microbit again. And again, you'll see it coming up on the left-hand side. And now I'm just going to pick up microbit alternating emojis and drop it onto the microbit. You can see the progress of it. So it's almost complete. And now that it is, I can press my A button on the microbit and it will show the code that I wanted to do. I just want to show you one other thing here. So if we just go back to make code here, if I just download this again, so if I save it again, I just want to go back to the downloads folder and just show you what happens. So now I've got two microbit alternating emojis. I've got one which is just called alternating emojis, and the second one is called alternating emojis, and I've got a 1 in brackets after it. Again, just look at your time, your date modified here. So if you're doing a lot of testing, you'll have a lot of versions. So you just need to be careful that you're dragging the correct one across. So that's our second project, which is the alternating emojis. So the last project we're going to have a look at is a random number project. So we're going to create a new project again, and this time on Shake we're going to show a number, and we're just going to pick a random number between 0 and 9. So we're back in makecode.com. I'm just going to go to projects, new project, and I'm going to get rid of the on start and the forever again. And I'm going to go to input, and this time I'm going to pull across on Shake. Now remember, we want to show a number that is a random number between 0 and 9. So if I just go to basic and pull across show number, so it's show number 0. And then if I go to math here, there's a pick random. So if I just pull across the pick random, okay, and I've said I want to pick a random number between 0 and 9. So now every time I shake it, so I'm going to shake it, I've got a 3, shake it again, I've got a 1, again I've got a 1, an 8, a 7, a 0, 7 again, a 6, a 3, a 0, a 5. So we just keep on testing it, and you can see that all of the numbers eventually do come up when you're doing that. Okay, so again, I'm going to just name it. So here I'm just going to put random number as my name. I'm going to save it. And again, when I go into File Explorer here, I can see that I've got my microbit random number. And again, just to remind you again of what you need to do to copy it across, you just select it, pick it up and drop it onto the microbit. And again, you can see how it's copying it across. And once that is done, it will then be on the microbit and we can test it on there. So in this screencast, we've looked at a number of starter projects and we've looked at how do we get our code onto the microbit. So hopefully you found that useful.